What is up, you guys? This is Shadowrun back here with another video. Today I am going over my Thunder Armed Dragons. Now I haven't done a video on this. This is one of my competitive decks that I usually take with me to regionals, but like I did in all of my deck profiles, I'm basically going to be going over what traps I use, what monsters, and what spell cards. Also, I'm going to give you guys a peek of how many cards I use in my extra deck and what type of cards will I use. Because in this deck, I use Ojamas, I use Thunder Armed Dragons, and I use Armed Dragons. So if you guys want some, please stay tuned. We're getting right into the trap cards, so let's hit it. So guys, for the trap cards, I originally used 3 Ojama Pajama. Ojama Pajama is so useful because it gets you all of those extra plays to your hand. You can basically, during each player's end phase, main phase, you can basically discard a card and add an Ojama card from your deck to your hand, which is broken in my case. And if it would be popped by your opponent's card, or if it would be popped in general, you can go ahead and you can target your banished Ojamas and special summon them. So that's freaking awesome. I also use one Ojama Duo. Ojama Duo is really necessary because I use it to bring out Ojama Blue. So when you bring out Ojama Blue, that's perfect because you can basically throw off all your combos with Ojama Blue. Also, I use Union Scrambler. Now, Union Scrambler is awesome because I can target up to 3 of my banished light machine normal monsters and or light monsters that are Union monsters, special summon them during either player's turn, which is super awesome. And that basically just helps you get off another play. Get off another, because you know you want to banish. I use XYZ Dragon Cannon, and also I use ABC Dragon. So I'm going to show you that version pretty soon. This is only the Thunder Armed Dragon version. I'm going to show you the ABC to XYZ version I use on the next video. You already know when you're playing this deck, you want to use at least 1 Solemn Warning, and I have 2 Solemn Strikes. Most people, they have different things, but I like to have it just because of hand traps. You know, hand traps are the main thing in Yu-Gi-Oh! So you got to have like at least a Solemn Warning and at least 2 Solemn Strikes when you're building any deck, because you have to have, my main structure is having 3 negates, and that's what basically helps me with all my duels. So let's go ahead and get right into the spell cards, guys. So you guys, these are the spell cards. So first of all, I use 1 Armed Dragon Flash, which is super awesome. Basically a quick play spell card that brings you an Armed Dragon card directly to your hand, which is super awesome. You know you need one of those, and I think the price of that nowadays is about $10. So Armed Dragon Flash is pretty much an expensive card. Also, I use 2 Ojama Match. With Ojama Match, I can add an Ojama card and an Armed Dragon card from my deck to my hand. And mind you, Thunder Armed Dragons count as Ojama monster, as Armed Dragon monster. So that's pretty awesome. Next, I use 2 Ojama Magics. Really, I run 3, but I just use 2 because it be cloggy sometimes. Sometimes you be having Ojamas that are already in your hand, and you have this card in your hand. So it's very rare that you have a brick hand and you have like 3 Ojama monsters in your hand and 1 Ojama Magic. So that's very rare if you have that for a brick. Now I use Ojama Country. Originally I would use 2, but lately I've been getting a lot of clogs. So originally I used 3 Ojama Countries, but I keep 2 in my deck. But originally I'm just using 1 just for now because my main goal is to bring out the 1 boss beater in this deck. So I realized Ojama Country really isn't that good of a card, and it is a good card if you're running strictly Ojamas. But I'm running Armed Dragon version. So there's times when I have like my Armed Dragon on the field, and its attack is swapped because Ojama Country, and I have an Ojama on the field. So that's why I said I only want 1 of those. Also, I use 2 Ojama Simulation. Ojama Simulation is awesome because you can just reveal 1 light machine fusion monster in your extra deck, banish 3 Ojama monsters, and bring out ABC or XYZ from your deck. You can bring it out from the graveyard, hand, or deck, which is super awesome. I use 1 Lightning Vortex because you know when you're running Ojamas, you need a Lightning Vortex. With Ojama, you get 3 Ojamas to your hand, and you get to pop off your opponent's entire field. So that's one thing I love about Lightning Vortex. I use 1 Foolish Burial, just 1. I don't use that just because it helps me get rid of something from my extra deck, and also I can go right into some of the extra fusion monsters or fusion materials. So yeah, that's the reason why I use at least 1 extra Foolish Burial. Now guys, I use 3 hand destructions. 3 hand destructions, like I said guys, are super powerful and super potent, because with hand destruction, with Ojama magic, you just use hand destruction, discard Ojama magic, get 2 cards in your hand, and then discard one. So really the draw power and the draw rate with this deck is insane. That's why I use at least 3 hand destructions. You already know you gotta use 1 Regeki, because you all know what your opponent's gonna play. I use a fusion tag. Fusion tag is very good, so I can bring out catapult cannon. So that's the reason why I use fusion tag and extra fool's burial, because that helps me get into the fusion materials and helps me bring out a stronger monster out of the extra deck, which is super awesome. And finally, I use 1 day of peace. That's just in case, and it's limited to 1. That's just in case you don't have no plays and you have bad combos. 1 day of peace basically lets you and your opponent draw 1, and we don't take damage. And that's the reason why 1 day of peace is actually one of my favorite cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! So these are all of the trap spell cards, guys. I'm gonna go right into the monsters in just a second.